And I know for some of you it's the beginning of the weekend, for others it's the middle of the weekend, but I just wanted to say hello, see how you're doing, and kick off our Saturday edition of the Data Roundtable. Thank you for joining in. Remember, the whole purpose of the Data Roundtable is that we come together as data professionals to talk about anything related to data. Whatever you guys would like to talk about, I'm here for it. It's good for us to get together, say hello, see what we're working on, what are we thinking about, what are the white papers we're reading, what are the articles that are catching attention. Let me know. That's what I'm here for. Holding space here for anybody who wants to just join in and say hello. And really, any data topic is on the table. Whatever you guys want to talk about when it comes to data, let's do it. You know, the whole point is that I walk in here with no agenda. I have nothing planned ahead of time. The group will set the group will set the discussion, right? The group will set whatever we want to talk about. So let me know that you're out there. Let me know what's on your mind. Let me know what you want to talk about, or maybe you just want to listen in. We always get questions about jobs or about education or things along those lines. So feel free to say hello. As some of you might know, there are a couple of things that I really don't like to help with. One is I don't give project ideas. You know, that should be something you should do on your own. Two, I don't help with schoolwork or school assignments. You should be doing your own work. And the third group that I recently added, unfortunately, is I don't help people that are looking for help on their client projects or work projects because they are doing like a little bit of fake it till you make it. I have had that happen 3-4 times in the last 2 weeks. I have no idea how these people are getting jobs, how the lies they're telling to land clients. I have no idea how that's happening, but I definitely have zero interest in supporting that or helping people like that. But short of that, if you'd like to join in and bring up a topic for discussion, I'm here for it. Willing to see where the discussion takes us. I like to think that I do okay, as far as answering questions. There's very few questions in my entire history of streaming that I won't take on or that I'm unable to answer, because that's because I'm coming to you guys with experience. I've been doing this. I well, let's just say I graduated college a long time ago. So I'm here for whatever questions you want to ask, anything that's on your mind, anything that compels you to join in, or just let me know where you're at in your data journey, right? That's kind of the whole, that's kind of another part of the purpose of this, that, if anybody tells you, if you run into a data scientist and they tell you that they're basically done learning, or that, like, they know everything about data science or whatnot, that's just not possible, right? You could never really stop learning as a data scientist. There's always something else to look at. There's always something else to consider. There's always another view, another angle, another tool, another study that can be done, right? So I'm also here for that. I want to keep on increasing my skills. I want to keep on learning from all of you, learning from really any number of people that are out there. So let me know that you're out there. Say hello. The group will set the agenda according to what we want to talk about, or the topics that people bring up in the chat. But you're welcome to join in and say hello, and we'll see where the conversation takes us based on the questions. So don't be shy. Feel free to let me know you're out there, and let me know what's on your mind. What are you doing this weekend? What are the data exercises that you are doing this weekend to help move you forward? Right? We should all kind of be thinking about it in those terms, right? Like, you don't have to be amazing at data science right away. You just have to get a little bit better every day, right? So what are you doing this weekend to get just that little 1% better? Do you have something you're doing that gets you just a little bit better? You should, right? It helps. It helps. So let me know. Let me know what you're working on, what you got going on. For me, it's only 8 a.m. in the morning, but but I've had a very busy morning. I've been up a little while. I took my dog to the dog park, came back, sat down, did some work. Boy, some messages you get on Saturday mornings. I was dealing with, unfortunately, some racist messages this morning. Um, I was also dealing with messages asking me if I'm AI, which I had gotten in the past before, and those questions had died down for a bit. But now, all of a sudden, they're popping up again. I know that I'm consistent in the clothes that I wear, and and in my setup because I have a little studio in my house. But now people are back to, oh, you're AI, this and that. Guys, I'm not AI. I'm just me. I'm just me. I guarantee you that I'm not AI. I'm just somebody who sits here with my dog and just likes talking about data science. I mean, I know that's weird to some people, but just like talking data science. But I am definitely not AI. I don't use AI in creating any text that I do. I don't use AI for any videos. I've tried it. I've tried using AI. But honestly, I don't get a positive reply from it. Most people don't like it. I have a couple of AI accounts, kind of for my own experimentation and stuff. But whenever I've tried in the past, even like short stories, or short reels, people don't like them. People don't like them. So I definitely do not use AI. And I certainly don't use AI for any of my clients. For when I do my client work, um, it's all me, right? I don't farm it out to anybody else, and I do not use AI. It's all me. So whenever I'm chatting with them or helping them, or when I develop exercises for them, it's all me. It's not AI. In the chat, we have our good friend Casual Economist saying good morning. Hey, Casual Economist, how are you, my friend? Hope that you're doing well out there in the great state of Minnesota. Wait, is Minnesota a state? Did you guys get statehood already? I hope so. So I hope that's working out for you guys. But yeah, nice nice to have you here, Casual Economist. Hope you're doing well. Let me know what you're working on. I know that you're still data curious. You're still kind of inching your way towards data, and that's totally okay. But we just got to get a little bit better every day, right? You don't have to boil the ocean, as some people say, right? Casual Economist says we belong to Canada now. Hey, sometimes that might be a good idea. Arun, how are you? Arun, I believe this is your first time. I think it's your first time. Arun says hello from India. Hello, Arun. Nice to have you here. Hope you're doing well. So, Arun and everybody else, this is our data roundtable format where we can talk about anything the group wants to talk about. So, let me know if there's something on your mind, something that's exciting you, something that's troubling you, something that you're stuck on. It's all fair discussion here. Arun says yes. Okay, I figured so, Arun, because I usually I do pretty good job of remembering who's new and who's not. So welcome, Arun. Thanks for stopping by. But yeah, Casual Economist. Sometimes, who knows? Sometimes belonging to Canada might be attractive. Who knows how? Who knows what the future holds, right? But like I said, I had an active morning today, um, and who knows what the rest of the day will hold for me. Casual Economist says, "Did you see Sam Altman's comments on teens using AIs?" No, Casual Economist, I did not. If you want to give like a little summary in the chat, I'd appreciate it. Casual Economist, I believe it was also you that brought that up last week about teens preferring AI discussions rather than real life discussions. So I assume those are going to be correlated. All right, that. Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Sam Altman would also have a unique view because he could also see the user data, right? he would know the type of engagement that they're doing with AI. But no, Casual Economist, I did not happen to catch that. So if you want to give a summary of some kind, I'd appreciate it. Or if anybody else in the chat knows what he's referring to. To be honest with you, I probably should do a better job of keeping up with things like that, like the interviews and whatnot, because obviously there is a lot of interesting things you can pick up there. But at the same time, a lot of it is also hearsay and like speculation on their part, or also in some cases intentionally deceiving information. So it's a balancing act, but I really should do a better job of keeping up with that. So later today, I'm going to be getting caught up with one of my mentors. I'm going to be catching up with some old work colleagues. I'm going to be doing some work for clients. It never stops. It never stops when you're a content creator. I know this looks like an easy, fun job, but I've never worked so hard to get such few views in my life. It never stops. There's always something to reply to. There's always something to do when you're a content creator. Well, that, and also I don't know if I should consider myself a content creator or a coach first now. That's a good question. I have a great collection of coaching clients right now. So maybe I should refer to myself as a coach first rather than a content creator. I'll have to think about that one. But anyways, let me know what you guys are doing. Let me know what you guys are up to. Casual Economist says, did you finally get your tires? I did, Casual Economist. It took a solid 2.5 hours, which was really disappointing. Tires should not take that long. And I had an appointment. So I had an appointment. I thought I was doing everything right to do like a quick in and out, quick tire change. And what's funny about that, Casual Economist, is that I had, the whole reason I got new tires is because I got this flat tire in the middle of the desert. And when I fixed the tire in the middle of the desert, I ended up in this rinky dinky little town. They were able to take my appointment on an emergency basis, and like the people there are kind of and the tire techs were kind of and when I was there, like some lady was complaining because they had put the wrong tire on her car like 2 days before or something. So I was like, oh my God, this is a clown show, right? But those guys had me in and out in like half an hour. In half an hour, I was back on the road with a brand new tire. So, this rinky little town that I wasn't excited about treated me better than this other place I went to yesterday. So yeah, it was an interesting experience in a terrible waiting room. But thanks for asking, Casual Economist. Sedant, our good friend Sedant is back. Sedant says, Sedant said hi. Hello, Sedant. Sedant says, you made a nice series on statistical learning. Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, Sedant. So that was a series that I did on live stream where I taught the book Introduction to Statistical Learning. Great book. Critical book in one's data science education. And yeah, it was fun to do that. I mean, obviously, I always want to recognize that that's not my book, right? I'm trying to build upon their work. I'm not trying to copy their work. That wouldn't be academically honest. But yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying the series. I put it on replay a lot, and people love watching the replay of it. But yeah, just trying to, put out good information out there. That book was very influential to me and a lot of people's data science career. So give me just a second here. Sorry guys, my screens are all jumpy. So yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I highly encourage you to get the book. The book is available via freely downloadable PDF, and that's directly from the publisher site, from the author site. So I know it's legal. Yeah, it's a really good book. Really good book. I mean, if you can If you can do work in that book and understand it and be like, oh, okay, yeah, like I get it, you are well on your way to understand having a really good foundation for data science or professional data science, right? Not YouTube tutorials, not some idiot influencer, not Coursera. I mean, that is where you really learn professional data science. So I'm glad you're enjoying this, Adant. D-Boy Holt, welcome. I don't think you've been here before, so welcome to our chat. D-Boy Holt says hi to you too. So D-Boy, this is our open roundtable where we can talk about anything you'd like relating to data, or maybe, maybe even not relating to data. But, sorry about that, guys. Yeah, so anything you want related to data, this is a place for it. Let me know what's on your mind. What are you studying? What are you reading? You know, let's talk it out, guys. Talk it out. That's the whole purpose of this format. I'm determined to continue this format through the end of summer and kind of see where we end up. So Arun says, what's your view on Gen AI? When is the hype going to settle down? Arun, help me understand your question or the reason for your question. Are you not happy with the Gen AI hype? Is that a negative thing in your view? I'd love to hear about that. Because I think it's great. I think I'm excited. And to answer your question, I don't see it stopping for a while to come. I think that's the honest answer. That the excitement around Gen AI is going to continue. And I say that because everything we've done is still early. It's so early. It's so early, right? Like we are going to continue to see really, really good stuff coming out over the next, I don't know, 5-10 years, right? You know, I know. I've seen the charts that say, oh, well, Gen AI is going to plateau out. Maybe, but we're still pretty far away from that, right? So we're still going to have a lot of different things that are like going to be really exciting. And also, if you read about, what Sam Altman says, what Jensen Huang says, what some of the Google people say, there is still a massive constraint on the growth of Gen AI because of the lack of GPUs and data centers and electricity, right? So we know that we can train better models. We're just constrained by time and by processing power, right? And OpenAI has said that they have some models that take like multiple months to train. They have some models in training right now as we speak that are going to be amazing. They just won't be ready for another 2-3 months, right? So that's going to go up, from a hardware and data center perspective, which is only going to increase the availability of more algorithms, more sophisticated algorithms, so on and so forth. So the core answer to your question is that we're still a ways away from it dying out. There's still much more to come. For the people who say we're going to plateau, we are still very much on the growth phase, right? That line is still fairly vertical, right? So Arun says, it is great. I am working on a Gen AI project myself too. I asked this because it is selling like hotcakes. That take the credit away from serious Gen AI use cases. Okay, I don't understand the last message, but yeah, I mean, if you're saying, hey, I want to know about this because I'm developing something, or I want to stay in the Gen AI world, or I want to know if it's going to be around, yeah, then I think you're fine. I think it's absolutely going to stay around. We are still in early days, early days. And I think that people of my age might be in a better position to understand that because I lived through the start of the internet. So I'm seeing a lot of parallels there. Like I remember a world without email. And I remember when email like started to become a thing and you kind of started like understanding like, oh, okay, cool. and then you started getting access to the internet. You started, using a dial-up provider. You started buying modems. You started having an AOL account and all that stuff, right? So I've seen that growth, right? So I lived through, seeing early social media networks, and then seeing MySpace, and then seeing Facebook. Like I don't mean those companies specifically. I mean like the level of sophistication of the growth, right? So, I mean, what? Facebook wasn't around until like 2003, 2004, something like that, right? I mean, Google wasn't even around until 2001, 2002. I mean, I remember using search engines before Google was even a thing. I used to use InfoSeek. That used to be like the top engine, right? So my point is that I've seen how the evolution can happen, and everything you're seeing now is still early, right? These are still the early players. I mean, who knows if Perplexity will make it, right? Everybody talks about Perplexity like they're super hot, but who knows? There could be somebody else out there, right? This is 1999 right now, right? We're still in very, very early stages. And Perplexity sucks, by the way, so they probably won't be around. But, like, who knows what this landscape will look like in 2, 3 years? It could be completely different, brand new people that come in. Google came in out of nowhere if you live through the internet, right? Yahoo got their lunch eaten by Google out of nowhere, right? So who knows? It's still early days. Still early days. So if you guys are thinking, hey, I don't know if I want to stay with Gen AI, is it still going to be a thing when I'm older? Keep going. Just keep going. I think it'll absolutely still be around. No question about that. It's just going to keep growing. We're going to see more data centers coming online. There were some recent bills proposed in the U.S. that are going to help with data center construction, right? A little bit of AI, not deregulation, but lack of regulation. So all of that is going to help continue the growth, right? So, so that's what I would tell anybody who's interested in that topic. Definitely keep going with it. We're still very early in what's going to be a very long cycle. So I hope that helps, Arun. I know I covered a lot of ground there, but I am pretty positive about that prediction. Arun says, "Sure, thanks." Yeah, you're welcome, Arun. But again, guys, this is the data roundtable format. Anybody can ask whatever they want. So feel free to say hello. Feel free to post something that you're working on or that you're thinking about, or whatever it is you're doing this weekend to advance you just a little bit more in your data science. This is the place for it. Last night I was also doing some work on some of the promo materials I used to attract new coaching clients. I got some of those things out there. I use a service called Connect. I'm on there both as an expert and as a customer, where when I come up with new promotional materials, I send them out to different people to get their feedback. I kind of make it like my own little focus group. And I'm starting to get some of the replies back this morning. And it's always interesting to see what people key in on, or the feedback that people give you. But, I do this because it's the data science. Well, it's not the data, it's the scientist in me, right? You always test, right? There's always a way to find a test that you can run. So I'm going to be spending some time today collecting some of my test results, some of the feedback I execute on, some of the feedback I don't execute on. So that's a little bit of an art in itself. But that's what I'm doing as far as, little experiments or different things that I do. I'm also going on a trip next weekend, so I'm going to be doing some things towards that, getting ready for that. So I probably won't be streaming at all next weekend, or very unlikely to stream next weekend. But yeah, we'll see what the rest of the weekend brings here. As I've said before, for me, sometimes the weekend doesn't matter. I'm always still working. When you're self employed, one day is as good as the next, right? So it's the weekend in the sense that I want to relate to you guys. But for me, it's just another work day. There's always something to do, guys. If you you know what, guys, stick with the Gen AI. Don't go into content creation. There's too much to do. It never ends. It never ever ends. There's always something to reply to on my end. But is it Madan? Hey, Madan, welcome. I think it's your first time. Welcome. Uh, I'm sorry, Madan. I don't understand that. It's CSC Future? I don't understand that. Sorry, my friend. I don't know what CSC is. Anybody know what CSC is? So, sorry, Madan. Happy to have you here. But if you want to clarify what you're writing there, I don't know. Sorry. Or if you want to share something you're working on. I think he's asking about computer science engineering future. Um, is career computer science engineering. Oh, okay, yeah. Thank you, Arun, and thank you for clarifying that, Madan. Um, so I think that computer science is definitely much more one of the careers that's under threat by AI. So Madan, if it's not too late, I don't know how far you are in your studies, but I would just if I had a son that was or daughter that was of college age, I would probably discourage them from that. I think that there is a high likelihood that there will be a significant decrease in demand for computer scientists. Some of the code that they're producing now is pretty incredible, right? And that's only going to get better. And I can't remember who I had this conversation with recently. I had this conversation with somebody recently, and maybe I'm thinking about it too simply, but if you think about like a computer science curriculum, it's very common that they would have some sort of like a capstone project or some sort of like, senior year graduation project or something like that. Something that would encompass all of their studies. You could probably take any problem statement for a capstone project at any university right now, give it to AI, and AI would probably solve it like in minutes, right? So if I was somebody in that course of study, I would be very concerned about that, right? How valuable are my studies if AI can reproduce my capstone project in 5 minutes? How valuable is that degree? I'd be worried, right? Like I'd be real worried. So Madan, like I said, I don't know how far along you are in your studies, but I would be concerned. And if it wasn't too late to switch, I would switch. So be very careful with that. I just think it's too risky to be emphasizing on that degree or focusing on that degree when when AI is so strong on the programming side. Now you can still learn some aspects of programming that I think are going to be important. I think that understanding OOP is going to be important. But do you need a full computer science degree to understand that? Probably not, right? I mean, if you took a basic course in OOP you know some programming languages, and you have a couple of tools installed on your local machine, you can get pretty darn far, right? Without having to go to a full degree program. 619 says, hello. Hey, 619, how are you? Nice to see you. Hope you're doing well out there in Thailand. Glad to have you back, my friend. So, Madan, I hope that helps you. But that's what I would tell you. Be very, very careful. Or just like have a different focus on your studies, right? I mean, focus more on OOP and architecture discussions rather than coding discussions. Now, I know that if you're in a formal program, you probably don't have a lot of control over that. I get that. But again, ask yourself, how valuable is that degree if AI can do your entire capstone project in 5 minutes? Super, super, super concerning, right? So, Madan, that's the best advice I can give you. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate all of you coming in. As I said, I'm committed to this format to the end of the summer. So I worry about you guys. We live in a dynamic world. There's people from all over. So please take care of yourselves, take care of your families, and I will see you next time. I'll see you tomorrow.